Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews. Ahem. Random reviews. Let's try that again. Random reviews from the Overflow Room. Yeah, it sounded good. Okay, we're really getting to the end of the P's, I promise. Gosh, there are so many little PA composers, but here we have three. We have a clump of three, including a very major one we'll talk about momentarily. But to begin with, we have, let's see, Carter Pann, American composer Carter Pann, was really very talented. He was born in 1972, and this Naxos American Classics recording features his piano concerto, which is really kind of fun. He's an eclectic composer. One of his teachers was William Bolcom. You know, his music features many different styles. For example, the piano concerto has movement titles for 5 movements. They are Pina Colada, Nocturne, Your Touch, Blues, and The Concert. So it's a little lighthearted. It's not all heavy-duty stuff. Barry Snyder is the excellent soloist, and we've got the Czech State Philharmonic Brno under Jose Cerebriere. So, just good performances, interesting music. Next comes Deux Séjours from 1994, two little ports of call, you might want to call them. We have Fontvieille, Provence, and Portofino, Italy. Then the Dance Partita, which contains Baroque 1, Burlesque, Baroque 2, Air, Baroque 3, Folk Dance, Pas d'Eclectique, and eclectique it is, and Baroque 4. Really charming work. I mean, it's a lot of fun to listen to. This stuff, it really is. That's from 1995. And then 2 portraits of Barcelona, Gaudi's Cathedral and the Bullfight. So that's really fun. It's a fun disc, actually, very enjoyable. And he's a PA. Yeah, PA. Now we've got another PA from like a bazillion years earlier. Pandolfi. Pandolfi flourished. They only have a flourished when they put an FL before his dates because nobody knows what else he did. 1660 to 1669. He published in 1662 opera of violin sonatas containing 6 each in Salzburg. He was in Salzburg like with Bieber and Schmelzer and all those guys. Each is dedicated to one of the musicians in Salzburg, and they're quite virtuosic. If you enjoy like the Bieber violin sonatas that Andrew Mancy did quite fabulously with Richard Egar, our very own sometime commentator, Richard Egar, then you'll enjoy this. It's amazing violin playing, wonderful accompanying, and stunning recording on Harmonia Mundi. It's one of these rarity niche things, but a good one, a really good one. And then, here we go. It's time. Palestrina. Yeah. I mean, this is only a little handful of Palestrina. I have a lot more upstairs. Palestrina was, for so many years, the iconic composer of the Renaissance, the late Renaissance. Actually, he's really proto-Baroque. I mean, time-wise, not stylistically. And, he wrote tons and tons of music, and he was supposed to be the god of sacred liturgical counterpoint sort of thing before Bach. And he shows up on all the proscenium arches of all the concert halls, even though no one ever plays any of his music. It's kind of interesting. And he wrote a bazillion masses and other sacred works, and they're known for their cool beauty. Nowadays, we're far more sophisticated in our view of music from this period. We know all kinds of other names. We know Ockeghem, we know Josquin, we know Lassus, we know like bazillions of people who did all this stuff. We know Clemens non Papa. I mean, for heaven's sake. So Palestrina is just one of the crowd, but he's still known for his extraordinarily beautiful music, and he's famous for having saved liturgical music by writing the Pope Marcellus Mass, theoretically. It's not a true story, by the way, but apparently he demonstrated that, to put it crudely, polyphonic liturgical music could be boring enough that it wouldn't distract people from their devotional thoughts in church. which isn't really very nice to Palestrina because he was, of course, a brilliant composer. But the music is, calm and fluid and wonderful for meditation and things like that. So what have we got? We got millions of masses. Let's see. We have, these are all Renaissance masterpieces on Collins Classics with the choir of New College, Oxford, under Edward Higginbottom. And these are not masses. These are all shorter works. I mean, you've got a Stabat Mater and a Veni Sancte Spiritus and Nunc Dimittis and the Magnificat and Victime Pascali and like stuff like that. They're shorter liturgical works. So those are interesting to have for people who only know the masses. And we've got this thing with the choir of Westminster Cathedral on Hyperion under James O'Donnell, the Missa Ecce Ego Johannes, along with Tu es Petrus, the Magnificat Quarti Toni, Cantantibus Organis, the Laudate Pueri, Peccantem Me Quotidie, and Tribulationes Civitatem. Yeah, city troubles. Tribulationes Civitatem. Yeah, it's like problems. Okay, so there's that one. And I have the entire, well, not the entire, I don't know if it's the entire, but most of the Tallis Scholars. Yeah, Tallis Scholars are fabulous. On Gimel, you've got the Missa Nigra Sum and other Nigra Sums by Victoria and de Silva. The Tallis Scholars live in Rome doing the Pope Marcellus Mass. The Missa Benedicta S. Missa Brevis, which is as long as any of his other masses, basically. Missa Nasce la Gioia Mia. Yeah. And let's see, Missa Assumpta Est Maria. Well, that's a very beautiful one. In Caelum. And the Missa Sicut Ilium Inter Spinas, along with the appropriate motets, which are the source of the material for the various masses. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And I think I've got some more upstairs too. I mean, I've just got lots of Palestrina. I had a Palestrina phase. I mean, it really is beautiful, beautiful music, but it really works best in smaller quantities. I'm serious, because, it can all blur and start to sound the same. You have to take time and get to know it, but it's exquisite stuff. Then we've got these Naxos things. Let's see, who's doing this one? Soloist of the Cappella Musica di San Petronio di Bologna under Sergio Vartolo. We got a motet and the Missa Sine Nomine. That's the Mass without a name for 6 voices, which is wonderful. The L'Homme Armé Mass. I mean, you gotta have every L'Homme Armé Mass. L'Homme da 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 da. That's the greatest hit of the 15th century or whatever it was. And the Pope Marcellus Mass and the Miss Aeterna Christi Munera with Jeremy Summerlee and the Oxford Camerata. So there you go. There's like lots of the Renaissance stuff, sacred music. And, this stuff accumulates now. There's like billions of recordings of it. And so, I had to move some of it down here. But by and large, I've done some talks on this music. And it is wonderful, wonderful music. And the Mass, as I pointed out before, was sort of the symphony of the Renaissance. It was the form in which all the best composers did work, because they knew that their work could be preserved if they attached their music to sacred texts and wrote them for specific, locales. And so there's just scads of it, tons and tons and tons, and it's worth getting to know. And you can dip in anywhere. It's all really beautiful. I don't say it's all equally wonderful, but it's lovely, lovely music, and you can basically just find anything that interests you and grab something and get to know it and then take it from there. And then you'll begin to hear differences in style and from, different locations and periods. And because we're talking about, what's about 3 centuries worth of music, so there's a lot. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.